based in Burnaby. We have 2 neighborhood houses. We have the South House and the North House, and our work is all about community engagement, connections, and belonging, creating a sense of belonging in the community. So that has been our challenge when our work is all surrounded around place-based making and having people come to us. You know, we have had to close down our 2 locations, and when the world changed on, I always say the world changed on, you know, March 17th, we really had to rethink how we do our work, and also go really into community emergency response and helping the people that we help. The Neighborhood House supports people of all ages, from children and families of young age all the way to senior citizens. And so during our COVID-19 emergency response, we've really been supporting community connections in Burnaby. It's mostly Burnaby, and we're supporting seniors, isolated seniors. We're supporting children and families, and we're trying to rethink how we do our work digitally. So when we talk about seniors, we, like Alex is on the call here too, we do work quite closely with Burnaby Community Services, and the supports that Alex is here to talk about. Our work with seniors is really, has moved into grocery shopping. So we have seniors, and seniors are not supposed to go out at this time. They should be staying home. They're the vulnerable population. So we have started to support seniors with
service providers and everyone working on the front lines.
Sorry. So we are doing shopping for seniors. We are recruiting volunteers right now. We will phone seniors, check in on them, see how they're doing. Then we'll have volunteers that will do that check-in with them, and then do grocery shopping and go deliver those groceries. Those are seniors that can afford to be purchasing groceries. But then we have some seniors who, you know, we're relying on the food bank for, you know, to support their food. So we also will do a combination of working with the food bank, where we've been delivering food that's donated from the food bank as well, and then also doing a bit of grocery shopping for seniors. Then we have the seniors that Alex's organization services in terms of the meals, Wheels to Meals, and those are seniors that can afford to pay for, you know, a hot meal, and they will deliver that food to the senior. So you know, we're working hand in hand and able to refer seniors to them. But then we've got seniors who are low income, and they're frail, they're isolated, and they need help with meal prep. They need free meals. So that's where one of our asks is, if we could, we're trying to work with the city of Burnaby to get some frozen meals that we could, easy meals that we could deliver to those particular seniors that are isolated, that they could just stick into the oven. So that's what we're doing for seniors, but the same thing is in supporting children and families. And so in most cases, children and the families can come out and get food. And so we've created 2 hubs of food at the North House and at the South House, where families can actually phone us up and they can arrange a pickup time. So they'll come to the door. Of course, we have to be safe, right? We have to keep our volunteers safe, so they can come and pick up food. So we're working hand in hand with the food bank, where we will go pick up food from the food bank twice a week, bring it to the North House, the South House, and that creates accessibility for families who, you know, might be tagging kids along with them. But then there's also families, parents that for whatever reason are isolated and can't get out. So we have outreach workers who will deliver food to those families, check in on them, make sure that they have the supports that they need. So food has become what we're trying to respond to. But additionally, the Neighborhood House has other programs that are continuing. So we have digital literacy. We're trying to figure out how do you get vulnerable populations who do not have money for computers on computers so we're trying to figure out, well, how can we set up computers, maybe a lending computer bank, and then how do we teach people how to use those laptops, digital devices. That's if they don't know how to use it. So those are challenges we're dealing with right now, because normally we would have computer drop-ins and people from the community would come and they would drop in at the North House, South House, and we'd have volunteers there that would teach them how to use their digital devices. We would run little workshops, but this is all, we're having to rethink that. And our youth programs, we have youth leadership programs that would normally run during the year. That team is now looking at engaging youth. They've been checking in on them, making sure that they're okay, you know, mentally and connected to each other. So they are continuing that work as well. They're all in school now, so that which is good that the youth are doing online schooling, but they still need to stay connected in some way. And recently we just started doing work with, we have a federal contract to deliver settlement services, which means that we will be supporting the immigrant community in Burnaby, where we'll be able to do first language work with them. So already with our seniors outreach program, we're able to do that in Farsi and in Cantonese and Mandarin. And so with this new contract that we are just starting, we're hoping to be able to expand those languages. So we're doing a lot, and I think you're also wanting to know what kind of support we need, right, Alice? So if I had a magic wand and I could ask you for you know, any help, I would say the finding laptops that people don't want anymore, and so we could repurpose them would be one way, because Computer for Schools has shut down, and normally, or if you know the person from Computer for Schools, the executive director, if you can get in touch with them, we're desperately looking for devices to get people connected, because if you don't have a device right now, you are totally shut off from everything. So that's one ask. The other ask is if you have connection to frozen meals that you would like to donate for seniors who don't have any money to pay for those meals, we would gladly arrange pickup of them. And we had a company give us masks, hand sanitizer and masks and gloves. That was very helpful, but that's going to run out soon. So our volunteers, you know, we need to keep everybody safe at this time, and so that's at the top of our list. And gift cards for food that we can give to families, that's also on our wish list. And so you can be assured that if you do make donations, that it's going to the most vulnerable people in Burnaby that are connected through our organization and through the staff that work for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Antonia. So I'm going to pass this on to Alex with Burnaby Community Services. They are also in the Burnaby community working with both Antonia's organization, and they also run similar programs, and Alex may be able to provide us a bit insight on how their community services is going. They're also the charity that normally does like a Christmas program, a toy drive each year. So Alex has some other programs that she can discuss about.
Yes, thank you, Alice. Can you hear me okay? Excellent. So yes, thank you for the intro. I'm with Burnaby Community Services. We've been around since the 70s and have really expanded our programs and services over time. As Alice mentioned, you might know us through the Burnaby Christmas Bureau, which provides assistance to low-income families at Christmas time. We run camping subsidies to help children of low-income families in the summer. So our programs are around low-income seniors, children, and families. And we provide advocacy services and programs to reduce seniors' isolation, quite a variety of services. Currently, we are providing essential transport to take seniors to critical medical appointments. So that is a service we are providing at this time. Also, our seniors outreach program focuses on reducing seniors' isolation and support for caregivers of the elderly. So programs that we have through the seniors outreach is caregiver support, senior peer counseling, and we've actually grown it over time to include now dementia-friendly programs, such as we started the first dementia-friendly cafe over a year ago that has taken up and been very successful and in demand. We've also launched a dementia-friendly intergenerational choir, which is a mouthful, so we call it the New Dimensions. And that has kicked off really nicely and works with seniors who have dementia or memory loss, and also involves children who like to sing and who are interested in volunteering with the elderly. So those are good news and great new programs. Of course, the challenge we're currently faced with is how do we provide those services when we don't have the ability to bring the seniors together in person. So we are providing our first Zoom choir practice this Saturday. It's involved a tremendous amount of work to bring our program manager up to speed with using Zoom, and then she has been practicing with others, and we're going to be trying it out this weekend, and we'll see how that works. But you know, keeping people connected is the key, and trying to find innovative ways to do this. One of the things we're doing around outreach for seniors is regular phone calls, checking in, emails, providing regular email updates that have links and resources for information and support for seniors. We're finding that the more calls we make and the more outreach that we do, that many seniors are grappling with anxiety and isolation. And I mean, Antonia addressed this as well, right? This is a challenge that we're facing, that we've got to find ways to be able to continue to connect. So we're working with others in Burnaby to address some of the key issues in community, such as social isolation, food security, technology challenges and access, seniors struggling at home. These are issues that we pinpointed that are obviously a challenge throughout the community. Our Meals on Wheels program that again Antonia referenced, we're continuing to provide that essential service and bringing both hot and frozen meals to isolated seniors. And we have brought in more volunteers to do that because we are taking on new clients every week. We're happy we're able to do that, but the demands for that program are growing. And amongst all this, just to cover the breadth of what we do, we also somehow continue to provide publications. I don't know if you can see these. But we are the ones responsible for creating, publishing, and printing seniors resource guides. That is a single little guide that we hand out to seniors. And as we age resource guide, all of the community resource guides that you see in all the libraries and rec centers, and the Ready, Set, Learn, which is for families with small children. And you can see that isn't a small thing either. One of the challenges again is seniors seem to really like having things in print. So we continue to create these. Obviously there are online ways to access this information, but the print versions are something that we still want to be able to get into the hands of seniors so that they know where their resources are. I guess, where do we need assistance? Our evolution over the years basically has led to us being an incredibly lean organization. And so what that means is beyond myself and an accountant, there are only 6 full-time program managers. So incredibly small, group. We rely on many dozens of volunteers to be able to help us in providing these services. So the ask that our organization has is more from a logistics standpoint. So sustainable functionality is something that we really need, and providing some basic fundamental infrastructure so that we are able to, now that we're working from our homes and trying to still produce these programs and have that outreach and stay connected with our seniors, how are we able to do that? So an organization such as saying, well, we need, it could be volunteer IT support for our office, for the volunteers, for the seniors. It could be cell phones even for our staff, or discounted phone plans that they could use that would allow them to work from home and not use personal devices or block their home number to call people. There could be voice over IP options that we could use. Our office phones don't have that capability. We're looking into things. Subsidies for data plans for our staff who are working from home, the only way we provide these services are through our very skeleton crew of staff. Even an updated server or VPN. We don't have the ability to share our files, the company files in the office with our staff. We don't have a VPN. So again, the infrastructure is our critical ask to be able to continue running these programs and doing what we do. So it's a different kind of an ask. Even website support or improving the donation section of our website to be able to assist us in our fundraising. I mean, that would be something else as well. To support our programs and clients directly, that would look more like, for example, subsidizing the meal delivery program and the growth, assisting in volunteer recruitment, training, management, gas cards for our volunteers, things of that nature. For our staff here, productivity software, being able to have more management or planning tools, some ways that we could have the few people that we have deployed, but in the most efficient way possible so that we can best make use of our resources. Even newer laptops, the staff, external keyboards, second screens, the things that will allow us to be able to make things happen. One of the things I was thinking of to describe this is it's like the tip of an iceberg. So you've got your single program manager at the top who is running the program, and then underneath that is just a bevy of things, which is, as I say, volunteer recruitment, screening, training, management, program coordination, working with the food suppliers, all the logistics around vehicles and getting things back and forth, and all of that volunteer management, intake of new clients, managing that. So really, I think when it comes right down to it, for us to be able to do what we can in this very unusual COVID time is to be able to have that infrastructure to be able to help us do what we can do. And any other ideas that anyone has or thoughts are absolutely most welcome. But I really appreciate the ear and being able to tell you a bit about what we do and the services we bring into the community, and would love to hear the discussions afterwards. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Alex. That was a great update from both Alex from Burnaby Community Services and Antonia from Burnaby Neighborhood House. Now on the flip side, we have Trina Notman, VP of Marketing and Communications for Accents Inns and Hotel Z, who is implementing on the corporate side a charity initiative. We want to bring her on to kind of discuss how an update on how that's going. And then after that, I know Roxanne from Tourism Kamloops has a new initiative she can share a little bit about. And then we'll open it up to the floor for Q&A, as well as input from all the different organizations on the call, sharing what your initiatives are, maybe sharing insights for both Antonia and Alex there, how maybe your organization may or may not be able to help, or where they can look for more resources. That's always what we're trying to do with this call, is really try to help each other out as a community. So I'll open it up to Trina now to give a update from her end.
All right, I'm just in the middle of messaging you, Alex. I had some ideas for you. But great stories, Alex and Antonia. Really interesting hearing about your organizations and what you're going through, and how you're, just really rising to the challenge as much as possible, which is awesome to see. Really awesome to see. My story is a short one, but I'm happy to tell it. Here at Accent Inns, we were like many hotels, and I'm going way back to early, mid to early March, which seems like a decade ago. And in that time, we knew something bad was coming. We were planning for worst case scenarios. We were planning on, okay, what happens if we have to get to minimal staffing levels and close our doors? Planning for all those things. And then we got a call from a nurse. We got a call from a nurse in Victoria who called our GM, and she was on the verge of tears. And she had a very emotional call with our GM to see, she was an RN supervisor, And her nurses that she oversaw, many of them were sleeping in their cars because they didn't want to risk bringing the virus home to their families. So, I mean, I don't know anything about healthcare, so this news shocked me. Just absolutely shocked me. I didn't realize that this is what was happening in many communities around BC. So we immediately acted on that and worked with our team to figure out what our rock bottom rate would be, our at cost rate, the lowest rate we could go for these healthcare workers. And we worked that out. We put together, I think we're one of the hotels that did not lay off any of our sales team, and we really activated our sales team to get this offer out to essential service workers. So it kind of grew from healthcare just to all frontline workers. And we worked really hard to get that out, through the sales channel in terms of reaching out to hospitals, paramedics, pharmacy groups, grocery stores, anything you can think of. I then pulled the PR lever and really went hard after some PR around what we were doing to try to get that news out. And the media picked it up in quite a big way. And what was wonderful about that is as soon as it was in the media, our phones were flooded with people wanting to pay for a stay for one of these essential service workers. And what a wonderful surprise. Like, what? We never planned that. We never hoped for that. That was never even a glimmer in my imagination. So it was overwhelming because this all happened on Friday before the weekend, and the calls just kept coming. We're not a charity. I like to take people's money like on a corporate side, but like I don't know what to do in this situation. So we partnered quickly over the weekend with United Way of Greater Victoria, who really came to our rescue. What wonderful partners they are. They came to our rescue. They were working over the weekend to set this up for us. And in partnership with them, then we set up the Frontline Hotels for Frontline Workers Fund as part of their overarching local love campaign that they're currently doing right now, raising money for all sorts of really great causes in response to COVID-19. So they already had this campaign running. So it was really easy just to slide in and be an extra part of their campaign. And they've been spectacular partners. So since then, we've sold about over 1,000 room nights. That means that we've helped about 140 people so far. All of those have been covered by community donations that we're so grateful for. I keep getting calls from the media too to do follow-up stories. Some of the beautiful random things that has happened is grade school kids have been writing in thank you letters that we've been taping on the doors of these people that are staying with us. So imagine you're coming home from like a 12-hour shift, you're exhausted, you get to your door and it's nothing you have to touch, it's in a plastic sleeve, and you just see this letter from a child thanking you for your service before you go in and spend your lonely night away from your family. So it's been really overwhelming in a wonderful, happy sort of way. It's like lots of great conversations happening. Lots of interesting notes being left by some of the workers that we've helped. Lots of tears, not a lot of hugs because we can't do that, but definitely a lot of really special human connections being made. And it's just been marvelous. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for my story. In terms of what we need for you, I don't need anything from you. I think any support should go to Alex and Antonia for what they're doing. We've been blessed with an outpouring of support, and so far we've been able to just keep up with the demand.
Great, thank you for the update, Trina. That's a really great story. It makes my heart feel more touched by it, especially with all those personal notes from the kids. I think that's a great little touch that I'm sure the not just healthcare, but frontline workers are all probably feeling that extra love that they need right now.
Sorry, that just made me, I just have to jump in with this one, because everybody be kind to your grocery store clerks. Be kind to your grocery store clerks. We have a couple of grocery store clerks staying with us, and one of them had it because they didn't know that their stay would be covered. And of course, they can't afford, even the rock bottom rate. And they said to us, we get treated like garbage all day at work, and then we come here and we're treated like gold, and it means so much to us. Be good to your grocery store people.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Trina. And I think Seth, you mentioned Roxanne from Tourism Kamloops just launched a new charity initiative. So if we can have maybe Roxanne come and share a little bit about that as well, and then that might give us an idea also of ways we can discuss and provide questions or feedback back to all the speakers for today to kind of help them out as well. That'd be great.
Hi. Yeah, ours isn't really a charity initiative, but what we were finding, like here in Kamloops being a smaller city, can everyone hear me okay in my headphones? Okay. In a smaller city, we actually just at the end of December announced that we were partnering with the tourism management department at Thompson Rivers University, and we were doing a generator. So it's going to be like kind of an incubator location for small businesses that were starting out, that were going to be like attractions and activities in Kamloops, because the feedback that we get as a DMO that's funded 95% by the hotel tax was that when we ask them, like, what else do we need in Kamloops? What else is going to help us grow to be a destination and all that kind of stuff? The number one response is always like more attractions, more activities, and so on. So we had started that, and they only got through the first phase where they were actually doing like a Dragon's Den style, like the students would come up and they'd have their presentation and everything. And then it was going to be funded by TRU so that we could kind of help them get to a place where we could all kind of win and have those attractions in Kamloops. So obviously, as all of that happened, we did not have the funding to fund that anymore. But we still work really closely with TRU, the Downtown Business Association, the Kamloops Chamber of Commerce, the Airport Authority. So there's now 9 business community leader organizations, including TRU and us, Tourism Kamloops, working together to just kind of streamline communication and engagement strategies that address COVID for all of our small businesses in Kamloops. So it's basically just an initiative that we're putting together so that all of those small businesses that are so lost and scared and worried and everything, especially in a town our size, like, you know, there's a lot of them. We don't have a ton of like really big chains or anything here. So just so that everyone can kind of feel connected. So we actually created the website first, which our team at Tourism Kamloops built in a week. So we did pretty awesome there. And we're getting all of the information and everything from everyone else that is working on the YKA Strong Coalition with us. And then from there, we fully do all of the social and everything for it as well. Instagram being our largest platform that we're going after to try to get the community engaged. And we have different challenges every week. So last week, it was kind of like one of the bingos that you fill out. And it's like, what's your favorite small business you can't wait to go back to? Your favorite service you can't wait to go back to? What virtual fitness classes are you enjoying online? All that kind of stuff. Just a way to engage the whole community and just keep them, our small businesses, top of mind. So it's been going really well. So the website, I'll just send it here, is ykastrong.com. And then it actually pulls in all of the pictures that people are posting on Instagram as well. And we have like the local section, which talks about business pivots that other people are looking at. So kind of ways that our local companies have pivoted so that they can continue to work. We actually have a new like gift shop that was supposed to open right downtown. And so she was just kind of holding off. But last week when I talked to her, she had decided that she was going to fully pivot and do a virtual grand opening this week, and then sell everything on her website instead, because then she doesn't even have to go put it, like she didn't even have anything in her store yet. It's all just sitting at her house. And then just kind of the good news stories, you know, we have some like, sports are huge in Kamloops. So we have some sports council people and some people that do kind of like event planning for sporting groups coming in and stuff that have actually started a Facebook page, and in there someone offered to build websites for small businesses that maybe don't have like a website presence for free, and basically just whatever it would cost them to get the domain and everything. So it's been going really well. It's a lot of work, but there's also, we're basically, as Tourism Kamloops, being like the marketing professionals out of the group of people that we have. That's basically the side that we're taking on. So we have the support we need for sure, between all 9 organizations. It's just a really, really big job, but yeah, so it's going well, and that's really all. Feel free to check out the website, and the Instagram is pretty good. So We have graphic designers in-house and everything. So it's been going quite well.
Great, thank you for the update, Roxanne. So I wanted to open this up to all those on the call to find out a little bit more about what your organization might be doing. If you're thinking about charity initiatives or you have ideas that you could provide back to Antonia or Alex, or even anything you want to ask maybe Trina, I'll open up the floor. So you can unmute yourself for that.
All right. Did you ask me something? You didn't ask me something, did you?
I didn't. I was opening it up for questions from someone, but maybe I'll start the questions anyways, for Trina anyways. With all this ongoing support that you're getting, I guess so you worked with United Way, they're collecting all the donations so that at least they get, I guess people who are donating get tax receipt back. And in doing that, they pay you for the room nights? Is that how that logistically works then from a business standpoint?
Yeah, so basically we report to them who we have in-house and that sort of cost, and it just kind of flows through to cover those costs. So it flows through I think weekly.
And that's all your hotels offer that?
Yes, except for Richmond.
Okay. Anyone else? Let me just look at the chat to see if there were any questions or
I don't
any.
have a question. I just wanted to say that it's really great work that you're doing. I had actually read the story on Burnaby Now. I'm from Burnaby Now. Sonia, hi everyone.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So I'd read the story and I was just trying to look up the story for everyone else. I just sent it in the chat if anyone wants to read the news coverage they got. It's so worth it. Some of the stories I'm hearing are just, yes, there's a lot of negative out there too, but right on clock every 7 o'clock I hear ding 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 outside. That's how I know it's 7 o'clock every single day. So much tangible work that people are doing, like yourself, like everybody else on this call. It's really inspiring.
Oh, thanks, Sonia. I feel the same way. Yeah, it's nice to see how people are just hustling and making good things happen.
I'm gonna ask also maybe a couple of those who are in Toronto. I know I see Eddie here and Connie here, there, and both in Toronto. Are there any key learnings from your markets that maybe you can share with the ladies here on the call that have provided insights, in particular the charities that are on the call, to think outside the box or outreach that you've seen in Toronto that's really made that impact?
Connie, I'll let you go first.
Oh, thanks, Eddie. I think one thing that I've seen that's more of a charity based is that the Ryerson University has a fashion department, and what they've done is they've sent on a social media platform to say, hey, we need your help. So they're basically recruiting existing fashion students and potential alumni or anyone that can sew to help make these masks for the nurses. So that's a really great way, and they're building a way where it's like, minimum each batch is 25 masks, and if a student was able to provide that service or that support, they actually get 10 hours as part of their internship as well. So that's a great way to get students involved. So they're providing a volunteer experience, making themselves feel good about their contributions, but at the same time, it's helping their overall school experience as well. So I've seen that happening right now in the Toronto market.
As far as myself, my company Andromeda, we have assisted various different organizations to leverage our registration software and online platform. So they can essentially allow people to donate the money or book any kind of services through our online registration ticketing platform. And we are providing those services complimentary to various different organizations. And on a personal note, my wife is a doctor, so she's volunteering at local Ontario Health Hospital. So we are helping those people that's in need. And it's what she does, right? This is what she do. She's trained to deal with pandemic, so she feels she needs to step up. So I think, it's a great environment for people to step up and help each other.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, Connie. Beck, I think you had a question or comment.
Yes, I'd like to thank everybody for joining today. It's great to get the update from the local community organizations. And Trina, thank you very much for the insights on your success story. I would say the success story of the organization that ended up being, you know, from a small initiative to a bigger thing, right? But with a partnership of United Way as well. So as an executive hotels and resort locally owned and operated organization as well, I just had a question in logistics part. Obviously, you might be reducing the staffing level. If you were able to keep the sales team, which is crucial for any business, that is great. But how are you managing obviously the check-in and check-out process if you are providing the accommodation to healthcare workers or people who are directly dealing with the pandemic?
Yeah, great question. We're uniquely well positioned for this because we're an exterior corridor motel, so people don't have to come to the lobby. We're doing curbside check-ins. So contactless is curbside check-ins is what we're doing. We also developed a very strict COVID-19 prevention protocol, and we did it in consultation with a nurse as well to help us with our cleaning protocol and all of that. And the protocol is good, and I know the protocol is good because the Public Health Association shared it with the Hotel Association of Canada, and now they have it and they're sharing it with boutique hotels, independent hotels across the country as best practices. So so definitely a lot of thought went into that. It just so happens, just by the sheer way that we have been built, that we are a bit of a uniquely safe place because they can just go right to their door. They don't have to go through corridors. We don't have central air conditioning. Every unit has its own. So yeah, definitely a lot of thought went into that. I know Chris Brown is on this call. I'm sure he was heavily involved in that as well. But yeah, it was key to being able to provide the service.
Absolutely. The infrastructure itself is also very suitable, by having the exterior entrance to the suites as well, right?
Yes. I never thought that I would be happy that we were a motel, but I am today.
Sorry, I'm just going to jump in there, Alice and Becca, and more of a shout out as well. To Sally Chan, who's also your colleague, Trina, and also Chris. We had a student. I believe, I don't know exactly the details, but he might have been stuck in a third country, but he'd come back and he chose the Accent Inn for his 14-day mandatory isolation. And, just the fact that I'm seeing these midnight emails from Sally to the student, because the student arrived with a backpack at midnight to the hotel from, after transferring. So, I mean, the amount of care and the amount of kind of detail that Sally had sent to the student, I mean, I'm amazed. So I think, that's something that I just wanted to shout out. I thought it was really important that, people know that, what the team is doing, right? It's not, I don't think it's a place for us to judge, why they're coming. Everyone has their own situation. So the fact that, their team was able to get that student there, give him the kind of details he needed, let him know how, there was a whole list, and I believe, Chris, you might have been the one who made this up, but a whole list of 15 different food options for people. And I mean, that student was happy because, I mean, he doesn't have to eat fast food every day. I mean, I think he's about 4 days away from his 14 days, but, being in a hotel room for 14 straight days, at least you have some sort of comfort, right? And so I thought it was really important to kind of just, give a shout out to the team, Accent Inn, Sally, Chris, and Trina, just really important work, right?
Sally does that all day, every day, and all night, I should say. That was probably one of 1,000 interactions she had that day. Is that right, Sally?
Yes, I'm available 24/7 for all my clients and guests. So, and the student, Dennis, we actually communicate practically daily. So, because I'm checking on him, I give him ideas, check on him when schooling starts, etc. So it's just, it's just something I think all of us do at Accent Inns. We're really a family, and we take care of our guests.
I'm sure you do too, Beck.
Absolutely, we're definitely doing our best to accommodate so many projects that are happening, and also obviously healthcare workers are on the top of our mind as well.
I have a question. I wanted to flip it back to Antonia and Alex. I know some of your asks also include, like, for the community, the seniors programs, meals, for example, is one that I know a lot of the hotels, the restaurants, and are coming together to kind of provide that. I know the Hilton donated some meals to the hospital, for example. Kathleen, are you on the, or Kathleen?
It'd be Elaine, right?
Oh no, Lohid.
Oh, Lohit. Oh, okay.
I think she might have dropped off the call. But there's a few community organizations that have provided meals for.
Oh, I am here. Sorry,
Oh,
I
hi,
just
yeah, no
couldn't
worries.
find the mute.
So my question back to the organizations that have provided meals to healthcare workers. What were the key learnings from that, and how can businesses like ours and other businesses learn from the donations that have already been done and try to shape those for the community, for the seniors in response? Because obviously you've already made the donations, but what were some key learnings from those donations, and how can businesses, other businesses, learn from that?
Yeah, one of the key learnings that I took out of it was they had a lot of donations for meals. And while you can't really get enough of that because they need to eat every day, we actually had to book quite a bit in advance. We found it was something that was being provided. We dropped off 50 meals today, and we'll be doing 50 more next week. But there were quite a few other organizations dropping off food. Today we also dropped off hand lotions for hospital staff. And that was we were the only ones providing anything other than meals. So we found that out simply by asking the hospital organizations, like many of us on this call, what was needed specifically, because there's often things that we can't think of. Obviously, meals are the first thing that come to mind, but the little things that maybe we don't think of is what we're probably going to try to support in moving forward. Yeah, it's quite obvious. The obvious things are being supported, but what is needed that maybe is being forgotten at the moment.
And I think my other question in regards to that, maybe that's for the charities, is the charities talk about meals for seniors and donations of food. How do you see that executed? And maybe Kathleen can also mention that as well. In terms of packaging, preparing, food safety is a big one. I know I have friends who refuse to do takeout because of the sanitization. So because you've donated to the hospitals, that grade level is probably the top level of sanitation. What did you guys have to do for preparation?
Yeah, so for that, we used our own vendor within the center. So we are already aware of the safety protocols on site. So we felt good about that. We know it's one person. We know how it's being prepared, and we're aware of their safety protocols. So in terms of food preparation, but every single meal had to be individually packed up and packaged in plastic. All cutlery was actually individually packed in plastic as well. So we had little plastic packs with, obviously not ideal on a regular basis. You know, we're trying to move away from plastic use, but unfortunately this is what we had to do in this case. So all the cutlery, napkins, any condiments, salt and pepper were all already plastic pre-wrapped, and every single meal was individually wrapped in individual plastic bags, in larger plastic bags. So it is unfortunate in the sense that it's wasteful, but that's how we went about it in delivering fresh food. And all the food was made fresh that day.
Yeah. I think, Kelly, you had a question there related to this?
Yes, I did. It's Kelly. I'm with Tawasin Mills, and I was just wondering about treats for seniors, or something prepackaged, something that they would be unexpected rather than meals. So would that have to be treated in the same way, or is that something that is desired or a need for that?
So I can respond, like treats, if they're wrapped treats, would be easy to add into a food delivery, right? But I guess it would have to be packaged, prepackaged. Like wouldn't you love to get like a chocolate bar or some Hershey's Kisses or Reese's Pieces? Absolutely. I think that we do that Christmas time as well, where we give a special treat to people with a gift card, right? So yeah, everybody likes to get like kisses and chocolate.
Yes,
And it would be easy to implement. You just add it into the delivery, right?
Yeah, I agree with Antonia. I think anything like that is uplifting as long as it has been sanitized and treated appropriately, so we're confident. I think anything like that would definitely put a smile on a senior's face. So love it.
One more follow-up for Antonia and Alex is when you talk about meals, for example, especially seniors, is there any special like restrictions or specific guidelines that you guys need to do in order to have these frozen meals or fresh meals delivered? Because obviously, as Kathleen has mentioned, there are strict guidelines with the hospitals, and everything has to be individually packaged, for example, and even like if and I understand from reaching out to some of the hospitals that they have specific guidelines, like rice has to be packaged separately than whatever, right? So that's all has to be separated in case of dietary restrictions. For seniors, what does that look like? Because for those on the call who may not be used to seniors meals, what does that look like for deliveries?
So I'll let Antonia address that one. For the Meals on Wheels deliveries, we have 2 specific food suppliers, and everything there. It's very careful how things are packaged, how they're prepared, and there's different types of dietary restrictions, right? Low sodium. Some people have chopped up pre-cut foods, so vegetarian. Western meals, Chinese meals. So we have tons of criteria that are met by our food suppliers. But over to Antonia, because that would apply to your program. Nope.
Oh, I'm mute. Okay. So we actually haven't delivered frozen meals. It's an idea. And so if we were, we of course would have to check into making sure that it was prepared in a licensed kitchen and it's packaged according to what Alex is talking about in terms of being food safe. And but because it's seniors, seniors have issues like diabetes, and they need, as Alex was saying, like low fat, low sugar, and low salt. But it still has to taste good as well. But smaller portions is what I've been told, right? So as I mentioned, we haven't actually done the been able to deliver the frozen meals. It's an idea. It's been flagged as a need because we have some isolated seniors who are also not able to prepare their own meals. I heard today from staff that there's one particular senior who, they're quite worried about, and I think somebody was going to go, deliver some extra food to her, just because if you're frail, like she had a walker and a broken wrist, like she should probably not be living alone. And so staff are quite concerned, and we're trying to figure out ways to bring in supports to her. Does that answer your question, Alice?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think that is, and I see someone had a question.
I have a question to Antonio and Alex. Obviously, it is a very difficult time for everybody, but especially if you are part of the nonprofit organization that is supporting the community like yourself. Have you had any scheduled fundraising events that were actually planned in the next few months, or it might have been planned for the months of March? As I know that a few of our partners had to cancel their big events. Obviously, some of these events could generate, a good portion of your operating cost, or the budget that you are forecasting for this year. Was there any opportunity for organizations like our hotels or any other businesses that could be in the local community that can support you by, with an in-kind donation that could potentially be used for the silent auctions that can be operated online now as well?
So I can say that I'm just so grateful, thankful that our gala was on March 7th, the week before everything changed, and it was just luck because had it been a week later, we probably would have had to cancel it. So to be honest, right now, we would not have capacity to run any fundraiser. We were just like flat out just trying to do the work that we're doing and reorganizing how we do our work. But I'm so grateful, thankful to the United Way, Vancouver Foundation, and Van City, who had set up that emergency fund, and that first week just made a lump sum donation to the Burnaby Neighbourhood House that helped us pay for our rent and operations. And and the government, the provincial government has been outstanding in terms of being flexible with funds that they're saying repurpose them, just help the people that need your help right now. Daycare, like we had 9 daycare centers, and we had to shut down 7 out of 9 daycare centers in Burnaby, but yet you still have the operating costs of those centers. So it was very worrisome that first week. We were just kind of like in panic mode, but the provincial government has still been supporting kind of the operations of the daycare centers in the province, so that when we come out of this, we will have the infrastructure still intact in place for people to access, right? And federal government has been the same, right? We had some funding for seniors from the United Way, for programs for frail seniors that we were getting up and going. They said, calling it pivot your approach and do what needs to be done. And that's what we're doing. So my goal right now is to get staff back. I had to lay off 52 staff in our daycare preschool operations. But now that we have the structure in place, and seniors is where the need is right now, seniors and children and families, is, my goal is, as we build our capacity to bring staff back, we will bring staff back, and then we can manage more volunteers, right? We will just do more work in the city. So, but right now we do have an online campaign going in terms of donations, because right now cash is really what we need. But also we're quite creative. If there was like product, like if somebody had like chocolate, or we would gladly go pick it up and deliver it to people who need it. If you had like books or whatever. So we have actually 2 childcare centers that are providing childcare for essential service workers. So that's still operational right now. That was long-winded, sorry.
Yes, good, Antonia. I think that is wonderful, Beck, for you to offer. This obviously, as Antonia suggested, fundraising right now for us is key. We also got very lucky that in February, a significant fundraiser that we would be a Society to End Homelessness in Burnaby is the coldest night of the year. And that was a very successful event, and at the very end of February. So again, like Antonia, but that said, I like the creative ideas. We're looking for ways to be able to fundraise during this time. We actually have people who want to support our Camping Bureau program, which is the subsidies for children of low-income families to go to camp. And don't know what virtual camp would look like, right? But we'll have to find out what happens there. But thank you. Raising money is key. We'll keep that in mind and appreciate it very much.
I'm going to jump in here. I know Alysia MacGrotty from Transbound, she had something that she wanted to update folks on. So Alysia, I'll give you the floor here.
Thanks, Seth. And I know this is a good segue when we're talking about fundraising and where to get funds from. Transbound, I'm responsible for a community investment program, and I'll share the link where not-for-profits and charities can apply for funding. But as soon as this went down, the first thing our president did was ask us to put together a proposal for to a donation towards all the pipeline and marine corridors food banks to provide a donation. And we did that because I know that the financial contribution can go a long way, because the charities know what they need best, and so that you can figure out where the funds can go towards and based on your need and demand. So that went out very quickly, and we're happy to do so. But if there's any other initiative, I'll share the link and you can apply online. And I know other corporations are doing the same thing. Just that there's such a heightened need right now. And for back your point about events that have been scheduled for March, April, May, including my wedding that's now been postponed. But we are honoring those sponsorships. We confirmed that we were going to put forward a sponsorship, and we allocated in our budget for that. So we're treating that as a sponsorship. And I know that some not-for-profit organizations are sharing our logo on their website and just acknowledging on social media with a tweet. And that can go a long way, because it encourages other companies and other businesses to donate. So I'll share the link, and happy to support. And I know that both the Community Burnaby Services and the Burnaby Neighbourhood House has been doing amazing work. We've supported you in the past, and we'd like to support you again.
That's wonderful. Good ideas. Thank you, Alysia.
Thank you, Alysia, for sharing that. I think the charities will definitely be able to tap into that resource as well. Before we wrap up, I know Isabel from Burnaby Heights Association is here. So I don't know if Isabel might have some quick insights as to what the Heights businesses are doing, or maybe she can spearhead some of these charity asks with her businesses there at Burnaby Heights. But I'll pass that over to Isabel.
Sorry, I had to unmute, and took me a moment to figure out how. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you virtually. I'm with the Heights Merchants Association. We're a business improvement area in North Burnaby. As a BIA, we foster economic development of our shopping district of some 300 plus merchants, most of whom are small and independent. And virtually all of them are really struggling. Some of them are quite decimated right now and hanging on by their fingernails. So we're not a charity, but we're a not-for-profit society that looks after this district, and both from a placemaking standpoint, but also for advocacy for what they need and that sort of thing. So during this crisis, we've been just trying to provide them with links to the resources that they need, the resources being government resources for the most part, although some of the resources are also things that have been set up by other agencies to help support or promote those businesses that are still operating, albeit under different delivery models. A lot of businesses have gone to curbside pickup or backlane pickup or takeout or deliveries, where you'd never think that that kind of business would do deliveries, but the world has completely changed now. So just linking businesses with these groups and getting those resources and support to them. We've been also partnering with a lot of local community groups, like the RCMP have really stepped up business patrolling, which they didn't necessarily always concentrate on, because a lot of B&Es were residential, but now everybody's home. So the B&Es, residential B&Es have dropped, but the business B&Es have spiked. So the RCMP are patrolling much earlier in the mornings now, keeping an eye on our local small businesses while they're not able to be there because many of them are forced to be closed. So partnering with the RCMP for their communications initiatives and their PR initiatives, and working with them to get information that they need in a timely way. Also collaborating with community partners like the Burnaby Board of Trade and our other BIA in Burnaby, the North Road BIA, on the other side of our city, and collaborating with them on a hashtag Buy Local, Buy Burnaby media campaign and marketing campaign for encouraging local people to spend their dollars at local businesses, because at the end of this situation we're in, the big box stores will be doing just fine, but a lot of the smaller businesses will find their doors closed. We just, they're part of our community. Half of our businesses live in North Burnaby, so our business owners live in North Burnaby, so we really want them to survive. So we've been doing that kind of work. It's been super busy. You'd think that, oh, working from home, it's going to be more chill, but it's been the opposite. It's been really intense and quite relentless. When you're talking with merchants on the phone, and some of them are using semi-suicidal language, it's really, you feel the pressure to make sure that they get what they need. All that being said, I am in regular contact with my other counterparts at other BIAs across BC. There's about 60 of them, and by BIAs I mean independent shopping districts like ours. And there's some interesting initiatives going around that what you all have been talking about, especially the food deliveries to hospitals. I found out that Langley's BIA has had an initiative where the BIA has sponsored meals at their local hospital, but they've pitched in a certain amount of money for the hospital to spend, but the money needs to be spent at the local restaurants in Langley that are part of that business district. So I'm kind of looking into that a little bit more. Maybe that's a possibility for us here in Burnaby. It was interesting to hear about the Meals on Wheels initiatives and all the procedures in place to make sure that things are prepared in a proper sanitized fashion to make sure that there's no risk of contamination when things get delivered to the hospital workers. I don't know how Langley went about doing that, but certainly worth exploring. And I'm certainly open to collaborating with Antonia or any other Burnaby groups about creating some ideas for helping those who need it. So anyway, thank you all for your inspiring and interesting information. It's been really good to listen in.
Yeah, it's just, I want to ask before we kind of finish, I've been seeing this on LinkedIn, so I'm wondering if we can all like turn on our video, like have a little wave, and then Connie, can you capture it on screen capture? I just feel like, we've done 4 weeks of this, so maybe we can all, if everyone can turn it on. Yeah, there you go. It's just seeing a few more people. Okay. All right. I guess some people, are maybe on the phone. So.
Yeah.
All right. Connie, did you get that or? Okay. Oh, one more time, guys.
If not, I got one too.
Okay. Okay. Richard Murwise. Come on. Okay. All right.
I did a video of your wave.
Oh, then okay, that's good. All right. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. All right, Alice.
And she didn't know how to spell my name. She can
We have a special guest. I want to thank everybody for coming today. If you don't already know, Tourism Burnaby's Industry Advisory Group is here every week hosting these social hours with different types of topics. In particular, just so that we can provide that sense of community for everybody. So we welcome you to join us next Wednesday. We're going to be talking about innovation in terms of seeing what, say, even like post-secondary schools are starting to develop technologies to create masks and face shields and stuff like that. So we really want to talk about innovation and kind of spur that innovation in all of you as well, to bring back to your organizations, as well as just to provide a networking opportunity for everybody. So if you have any future discussion topics you're interested in, or having ideas for us, feel free to reach out to Seth, myself, Beck, Jordan on the call, any of us that are on the industry advisory group, to provide more ideas on what we can do week after week to provide more. It doesn't even have to be a lesson learned. It could be something more sociable. If you have ideas, then we'd love to hear from that so that we can host more of these moving forward. So thank you so much for everybody's time, and have a good week, and we look forward to seeing you next week again.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Great job. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.